My stepson. He said, you're always talking about these things, telling me how to live and what to do. He said, tell me where to go. He said, I'd like to know something too. Tell me where to go, what to do. So I sent him down to the river and I said, you go down there and you sleep down there. I said, and maybe you'll have a good dream. I said, if you have a good dream, go jump in the water and take a bath. I said, if you have a bad dream, just forget it and go back to sleep again. Try another night until you have a good dream. You stay there until you have it. When you have this good dream, you'll be all right. You go take a bath and come home. So he went down and he stayed down there, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. He never come home. When he did come home, he was a happy boy. And one day my wife asked him, she said, feel like somebody's coming. She said, I was looking down towards the mailbox. It was down the roadways. So I looked down there and she said, looks like always somebody's coming there. So she said, did you look down there and see if you could see anything? He said, wait a minute, I'll get a hold of the supernatural. He was just talking to his mother. So he jumped up on the table, and I don't know why he jumped up on the table. He jumped up there and sat down. Sat there a few minutes, and he said, yeah. He said, Sandra was going to Mexico, he said. And she broke down in Sacramento, and she'll be home tomorrow. So Sandra showed up the next day. And my wife asked him, where was you the other day? She said, I was going to Mexico, she said, and I went and broke down in Sacramento, so I come home, she said. And then there was an old lady, she fell off of the trail. She lived up there in the mountains and broke her ankle, and she couldn't get back up on the trail. And he was sitting there, and it was, I don't know, maybe about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He said, the old lady up there, he said, that lives way up there in the mountain, he said, she fell off the trail up there. She can't get back on the trail, can't get up. I got to go up and help her, he said. So he went up there and helped her back on home. Halfway packed her back out of there. Well, that's what he learned when he went down to the river and stayed down there. And my mother was a kind of a doctor too, in a way. It was, well, first time that I noticed it, you know, I'd give it any thought. I don't know how old I was, maybe 8 or 9 years old, maybe 10, I don't remember just how old. I was following along where they was dragging clean, stretching out barbed wire, and the end of it was flopping around. I never thought, and I got too close to it. That barbed wire hit this eye here and cut it wide open. Everything drained out of it. And I went back to the house, and my mother cried, and she grabbed me and made me lay down on the bed, and she covered me up, cut it clear over. The blanket clear over me. But still I could see through that blanket. I don't know, I guess I couldn't see, but I thought I could see it. And she went back to the other room, and she was singing in the other room. And finally a cloud, like fog, like the way it looked to me, or the way it felt, come right down out of the ceiling and almost smothered me. I had a hard time breathing. And I don't know, maybe 2 hours, she came back in, and well, that fog raised up before she came back. Raised up. He came back and uncovered me, and my eye was all healed up. Nothing wrong with it. And this little boy, he was probably about, a year and a half, maybe. He was just walking good. Anyway, he fell off of that porch head first down in that creek bed and busted his head wide open. And his mother grabbed him and brought him up to my mother. She was crying, I don't know. The boy looked to me like he was dead. And my mother took the little boy and she said, you go home. She told a woman, I'd never played. She said, you go home and you clean up your house good, she said. Clean it up good, everything. And when you get all done, then you come back, she said. And she done the same thing. She took that little boy and put him in that bed and covered him up. Covered him all up, and she went back to the other room and was singing in there. And then, I don't know, quite a while later, that lady came back. Mom was still in the room. Came back and Mom met her. He went in the other room and uncovered that little fella, and he was laying there smiling. Never had a scar or nothing on his head.